All right, so this book is going to talk about some gems. With his book, Redirected for Purpose, he is also launching his new passion project, Suit Up, Dress Up, Step Up Youth Outreach, geared towards helping young people with resources when going into the working world. Conroy Thompson joins us on Zoom. Conroy, good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
Hey, Conroy.
Yeah.
Good morning, Debbie, how are you?
Very good. Love the jacket. It
Fresh.
is very much in line with your next project.
Yeah, man.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, man.
Well, it's actually Earl. I'm wearing Earl Williams. You know, he does all my suits for me. So
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I look at the book and at the top it says rejected, but rejected is marked out.
Absolutely.
Talk to me about the idea behind the cover of the book, because a lot of people don't understand that the cover of a book really sells it, you know.
Well, that was rejected was my word growing up, based on what happened in my earlier years. That's how I felt, and for some reason I could not understand why me. You know, we in Jamaica we always why me. But then as I grew into my own, I realized that these were not rejected moments. These were moments that were just redirecting me for a greater good. So I intentionally put the rejected there and I crossed it out. And you know, at the end of the book I talked about it as well, saying, you know what? All these years I thought that I was rejected, maybe by parents, by work. You know, this book covers everything, and these rejected moments, and I'm telling persons, hey, sometimes we need to look and find the deeper meaning to life through these moments that are maybe just redirecting us to a different path and a path for greater purpose.
Yeah. Sometimes, Conroy, that's easier said than it can actually be done, as you know. You know, because it takes a level of awareness for you to understand, all right, something is off here, and it's not just life and God not agreeing or loving me up in this moment. You know, it could just be that I'm not at the place I'm supposed to be. So, so how do you now move from experiencing that to putting that on paper? You know, do you wait until you've overcome it and found the answers, or do you begin the process of making sense of it all while it's happening to write it out?
Well, for me, this first and foremost was I thought that I dealt with a lot of stuff until I started writing the book last year. And in writing a couple of the chapters, I'm like, I felt that there was a connection to it still. And I'm like, I thought that I dealt with this before. Yeah. The thing about it is, Debbie and Dwayne, we were taught first and foremost as men not to show emotions. So the first thing we do is we sweep things under the carpet and we leave it there. And we say, you know what, we'll tough it out and get over it. We get it over with. Time will deal with that. That's not true. We have to face those moments. There was one particular chapter, Debbie, when I started writing it, I had to stop. And it was the attempt suicide chapter. I had to stop for like 3 weeks. Because where I'm at now, I'm like, look how much I love life right now. What was I thinking? But then I had to revisit that space to think about what was happening in that moment, what my realities were, and said, you know what? I'm happy that it didn't happen, because now I can use this to help teenagers, really, because I mean, persons don't understand. When you're in fourth form, fifth form at high school, it is a different level of peer pressure. You understand? Especially if you are one that want to fit in, which I wanted to do, one that feel like I did not have that support and that love from the parents that I wanted to have in my life. I didn't have that. And as a result, I looked elsewhere. Yeah. And this is one of the reasons why any moment I get to speak to young people, and this is one of the reasons too why this passion project is so close to my heart, and the proceeds from this book is to fund that, is because I want to ensure that young people, especially young men, suit up the mind, dress up the mind, and step up for life. really and truly. Because if not, then hey,
yeah,
we don't want statistics.
Yeah, and I hear you speaking, and I can relate to some of the moments, because I've said this to people before. You go through things, and then instead of dealing with it, you just brush it under the carpet.
Oh yes.
But then you go down the road and you meet up on the same thing again. So unresolved issues become constant issues in our lives over and over because we don't deal with it from early.
When I tell people that, let me give the backstory. When I tell people that not growing up with my mother and not having those parental guidance in my life to show me love, when I tell them that this affected me into my adulthood, they couldn't understand. When I told them that, listen, I used to be known in the hotel industry as the walker. What does that mean? As soon as Conroy gets comfortable in a job, Conroy leaves. Why Conroy leave the job? Conroy leaves the job because I start to feel, okay, if I am getting too comfortable, I am just waiting for that bomb to drop to say, you know what, you're fired. It has never happened before, but that was how much it affected me. My grandmother, who, bless her soul, would have given me everything that she had. There is something when the mother love and the father love is not there. There is something that affects you as a child, and then you bring, and you, as Dwayne said rightfully, it plays out. It played out in every single friendship I've ever had, because as soon as I got close to these people, I'm like, you know what? I just disappeared. Sometimes they're like, come on, I haven't heard from you. I just cut them off because I just feel as if down the line I'm going to get hurt by them. That was how my life was up until about 4 years ago. As recent as 4 years ago. And I had to deal with it. I had to pinpoint what it was. And you know, when I put this on paper and put it out there, I accepted the vulnerability that came with that. And believe you me, as the persons who have read this book already, the amount of phone calls that I get, because they couldn't pinpoint what exactly it was that caused them to do what they do. And now there is kind of like a connection to say, oh, I did not deal with this in the past, so that is why it is still affecting me now. That is the teaching moment for me. Teacher through and through. You don't have to get to
you know, Oprah Winfrey calls it an aha moment, where you're reading something and it just connects immediately with you. You really know a good book when you're able to find something in it that can actually either be something relatable or something new to knowledge, you know. So that's
absolutely.
I think you're doing an exceptional job of putting this on paper, and I think a lot of young people will be able to benefit even from this new movement and project that you're going to be doing. So for persons who would want to get this book, where can they get it?
All right, it is currently in clinic here in St. James, but I am currently working out something with Fontana to have it in the Fontana pharmacies island-wide. So in about a week or so, everything should be on stream where that is concerned. For now though, they can always visit my Facebook page, CDT Conversations. That's Conversations with an S. And of course, my Instagram page, CDT Stratsol. They can go on and DM me. I deliver. I'm in Kingston, and I'm just delivering right now all over Kingston and connecting with the readers. It's important to me that I did that as well.
Yeah, I love this book, and I want a copy as well, Conroy. I'm gonna get it.
Absolutely, definitely.
I love it.
And I want to say though, before I leave, that each chapter ends with an activity for the reader, so that the reader can unearth their own story. Because again, we have so many things that are hidden that we are not dealing with, and
that is very
the questions might be simple, but trust me, when you start thinking, and it will get you thinking.
I love it. Never rejected, guys. Redirected for purpose. Thank you so much, Conroy. We'll be right back.